Okay, today we're going to be working on the 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche. I'm going to swap out the radio with a new Blaupont model. Fix the speakers, and also the windows aren't going up and down properly. We have a sister channel that I'm going to post down into the comments below, into the description, 2 links. I have a streaming webcam where you can watch me working on the cars while I'm in my shop. And so I spent a total of 8 hours taking apart the car, putting it back together. So the car is going to go into the shop, into the air condition thing. Going to work on it. If you want to see the behind the scenes of working on the car, watching me curse and yell and scream, you can click over and watch those channels. The important thing is that you subscribe and turn on your notifications on that channel and this one so that you know when I'm in there working live. Now, want to watch me change the stereo and speakers and work on the windows of a Corniche? Let's go. Okay, so the stereo and the speakers in my 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche, they really suck. And I'm going to change them out with a modern unit, and I have to tear the doors apart and everything to get to the speakers. So let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm inside my air conditioned shop. I've moved some things around so I could fit the car in. I've already removed this door panel, which was really easy to do. And you're not going to believe the speaker that I found inside this car. Look at this little, like, 3.5-inch speaker attached to some wood that was put in there. This thing sucks. No wonder the stereo sounds terrible. And this Kenwood tape deck that's over there, that thing's got to go. Now, I've got a really nice Blaupont I'm going to put in there. We'll get to that later. But I was just going to show you what's on the inside of this door. And this has already scared me because somebody's already been in here. I don't know if this is factory, all this black duct tape. But I need to tear apart that door over there because that window isn't working. Which means all this stuff's going to have to come out and I'm going to have to mess with it. But this door's already torn apart. I'm already done on this side. Now I'm going to have to get to that side. And I just realized it's going to be very difficult to get to because of that door or that table I've got over there. I'm going to have to move some things around. I might even have to take the car back out and bring it back in order to fit it all in here. But I wanted you to see what I was working on. Okay, inside the door of a Corniche is a bar. That's right, a flask with shot glasses. Now this little door is what's causing the problem because this was obviously an afterthought. You know, when they put this little thing in here, they were like, okay, well now where are we going to put the speaker? And you can see that they had to cobble in this little tiny speaker and put it here. And because of all the stuff that's right there, can't put the speaker there. This is where the speaker normally went before they decided to put in a bar. Now, I could remove the bar and build myself something here and put a speaker there, but I don't want to do that. So, what do? I can put a little speaker here, and I think what we're going to have to do is get creative, and I've got a couple of ideas already. So in the back, these tiny little areas right there, probably the same size little speakers. So you probably have 4 3-inch speakers. There's not a lot of room to put a speaker back there either. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is on my 73 Corniche, they had custom put in 6x9s under the seats right there. You can pull this up and access under there. Now I know why they did that. We may want to either double or just eliminate these or add an amp. And that's getting complicated. And I really don't want to get into some crazy stuff, but I might have to put speakers back there. I'm not going to put a kicker in this thing. I just need to listen to the basic radio. That's all I want to do. Okay, this has turned into a whole cluster. I'm trying to get to this speaker that's down in here. So I'm trying to pull this whole panel out. Once I get this panel out, I'll be able to... The speaker has fallen. It's fallen off out of its perch and it's unplugged. And the only way to put it back is to take this whole panel apart. And it's been difficult. Okay, I've been rewiring this whole thing. I've been working on it and I've got my new Blaupont. This is the Frankfurt RCM 82 replica of their original radio. Instead of a cassette, it's a USB. Now, I've got this all pretty much wired in. I don't have it completely set in there yet because I'm still routing some cables. I'm going to route a phone cable that's going to come down. I put this little microphone here, very tucked in. I might put me a mount right here for my phone. I don't want to screw into the wood. I want to try to use sticky tape if the sticky tape will fit without falling off. been playing around with the speakers, and I think the problem was that other radio, the amp was blown in it. I can't demonstrate the music for you here on YouTube, but I think that the speakers, if they just had a little insulation, I'm going to stuff some cotton wadding or some kind of insulation in there to try to give them a little bit more depth, even though these are 3 inches here and they're 5 inches in the back, which I got that other one working, by the way. It works, it just needed... That other stereo's obviously got a bad blown amp. So this speaker works. I'm going to remount it in its place, put this back on, this panel back on, and I will have all 4 speakers working. It's not super loud or super kicky, but it works and it sounds good. Doesn't sound like the 15 speaker lexicon system that's in the Phantom, but I just need some basic tunes. And I tested the telephone and the phone works. So, this is how they did it, folks. It's a hand-built car. But there it is. Goodbye. Okay, it's the next day here. I've decided I'm just going to keep the speakers that I have because they seem to be the best thing. So I've got some foam rubber, some polyfill. I'm going to redesign this little speaker here because I think this speaker is vibrating on that piece of wood. So I'm going to put some washers on it to space it. I'm going to put some polyfill and foam in there and remount it. And then I'm going to remount this speaker into this and put this back together. So I'm going to work on that and get this all put back together. Okay, I got the whole back put back together. We put that speaker in there, put some foam filler behind it, got everything hooked up, screws in it. This is all hooked back up. Speaker's working, it's all back together. Now it's on to the front, where we will tackle this speaker, and I'm going to do a little bit of work to that. It's a little loose, but it's got a lot of this polyfill and some foam in there, because the key thing is when you open this bar, this door has to come down and not obstruct it. So I'm going to have to keep this closed. I don't want to take this out because this is too fun. So as long as this has enough range of motion that it can move and it doesn't hit the speaker, I also need to make sure that this isn't hitting the other side of the door panel when the door panel's been put back on. So I think using the foam, I mean, it's just gonna it's mostly suspended in there. It's not ideal and perfect. However, this will work. You know, it's not ideal, but it'll work, and I can get some tunes. I'll put a little wedge or a foam right there. That'll help. Well, I gotta be careful. See how this comes down? So I'm very limited as to what can be done right here. All right, we got the door back together. Stereo's mounted. Other doors back together. The whole car's back together. Everything's ready to rock. Now, I fished this cable here, so we don't need this. This cable's running to the back of the radio, so I can plug in my phone. It charges and also directly feeds the phone, so I don't have to Bluetooth to it. I have put this little microphone here on double-sided sticky tape from the radio so that I can do hands-free. I don't really need to do hands-free in the car, but here's the situation is if you're Bluetoothing or playing music from your phone and then somebody calls you and you answer, and if you don't have that microphone, they won't be able to hear you, and then you'd have to disconnect the whole thing, and it's a pain in the ass. So I went ahead and put that there. Now I'm about to do something extremely controversial that's gonna piss off every Rolls-Royce enthusiast. I want to put this phone holder here. And there's no way to do that unless I drill into that wood. Into that bird's eye maple veneer. I can hear you screaming, no! Your little British fingers are putting down the scone and typing right now. Don't do it, bub. That's the mount. I could either do it that way or this way. And I can screw that right into that wood to mount my phone. And that would put the telephone right here, the one I'm holding in my hand. You know, I thought about like covering up this hazard light and putting it there, but then, you know, that would be a spot. But this puts the phone right here. Perfect spot right here so I can see my maps, operate the radio, the air conditioner blows on it, keeps it cool. There's just no way around it. I have to screw it into the wood. And I know what you're thinking, oh my God, you're gonna destroy the value of the car, you're gonna do that. You know, I don't care. I have no plans to sell this car. And if I sell this car, whoever buys it would also probably like to have a place to put their phone. This is the reality of the world now. And there's a lot of other options. I mean, I could mount it to the pump here, you know, otherwise I have to screw into the plastic. It would be an obstruction. I'm just gonna do it. No regrets. I'm gonna do it. Here we go. This reminds me of a time in 2004 when I sat on a little work stool and hard to do this with one hand here holding the phone. I was sitting in front of my DeLorean trying to decide, okay, do I drill into the side of my car? Do I drill into my DeLorean? And that's when I started work on my very first DeLorean time machine. We're finishing our 50th DeLorean time machine right now. Does it look straight to you? It looks like slightly, just slightly ever so crooked. There's a little bit of play here. But anyway, that moment in time changed my life forever. It did, you know? No risk, no reward, you know? And sometimes you just got to do something crazy. And I know I'm drilling into the bird's eye maple veneer of my 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche. But I'm now going to have the world's sturdiest phone mount. This is an unsolicited endorsement for Bullet Point. I put these in all of my cars. American company. You really need two hands to do this, but Bullet Point makes the greatest phone mounts of all time. All right, so there it is, phone mount. It's perfect because, you know, I have this cord now. Just plug that in, turn on the key, and there it is, Blapon. And it will automatically connect to iPod phone, which I have running Sirius XM. You know, when you pay for Sirius XM, you get an online subscription. So I can listen to that. It's playing. Is it muted? Oh, I muted it. There we go. Should be playing. It's not playing. Let me start that song over. I don't know why it's not playing. Huh. Let me unplug it, plug it back in. Oh, that's the radio. It also does Bluetooth, but I like to charge the phone while I have it on. Anyway, that's how it works. I had muted it. That's off. Goodbye. Oh, there goes the antenna. Turn that back on. Let's see. So that's the the phone playing through the speakers. Now, oh, there it goes. So now I can. So I can play my Sirius XM. I can make phone calls. I have a microphone right behind there. It's probably not very good, but it's good. There's Richard Blade. What's he talking about? Big audio. Anyway, that's what I wanted. I know people aren't going to like this little mount, but this thing is solid. It doesn't move. So very happy with this. Again, a free endorsement for Bullet Point. These are just the greatest mounts. I mean, they are rock solid. And I put them in every single one of my cars. Thanks. Hope you liked it. There's going to be a lot more videos about this car. This is going to be my new baby for a long time. We are still working on the 1967 Silver Shadow back there. That's a project as well. We're going to get that moved into the warehouse next, and we're going to be working on the door panels and things on that car in the air-conditioned garage, and you'll be able to watch me doing that live on our Bob's Prop Shop streaming webcam channel. Don't forget, we have other channels as well. The Videobob Show talk show happens every Sunday Make sure to subscribe to that, turn on notifications. And if you are visiting or live in Las Vegas or just like to watch food, I do food reviews of my favorite spots to eat at Bob Eats Vegas. You'll find all those links down below in the description. Share with your friends if you enjoyed it. If you like more Rolls-Royce content, more is to come. I'm Videobob. Thanks for watching.